Ooh. Ooh. Maybe? Anyways. It's indeed been quite some time since there's been issues like that. You know, it do be what it do be. Do be what it do be, though. We're probably gonna be fine, though. It's most likely just going to be a one-time situation, you know. Is it unfortunate? Yes, but what can I really do for it? It's just weird because usually there's like at least somewhat of a warning before it happens, but this time it just was like immediately gone, you know. But we move on. I still know more or less how long I've been going today, though. I mean, I can always be basing it on how many encounters I have done as well. Can do that indeed. It looked weird how the Stuffles just like was showing up there. But anyways. Imagine if the Pokemons couldn't be going into the same spot. They would be having collision like that? Would that be cool? And if they would be going into the same spot, they would be having a battle between each other? I honestly think that it would be kind of cool. And you know, kind of making sense. Or maybe not always having a battle, but have something in between them though. You know, like that indeed. Would be quite cool indeed. But yep. And especially it would be making a lot of sense to those Pokemons that don't like each other, like Viper and Zangoose, for example. Yes, for example, for those. Or for ones that, you know, another way don't get well together, like Cursula and Marini, or Sableye and Garbink, for example. As I said, it would be very cool to be seeing them to be interacting as they are like kind of said in the Pokédex and such. It would be quite cool indeed. Would absolutely love it. Those relics. Oh, Farfetch'd. Why did you now show up? You could have shown up a little bit before, so I wouldn't need to be just encountering you and having very much indeed slow checks. Also, it seems like sevens didn't bring us any luck. It is indeed very unfortunate, but hey, it do be what it do be. And we have seen so far today like 30 far-fetched, which isn't too bad, considering that it's a 5%. Considering that it's indeed a 5%. I mean, surely have we soon done cheese for 100 encounters, but still, I will say that that's indeed a decent amount. I don't mind it at all. I mean, why would I? Yeah. We have definitely had worse days with the far-fetched hunch. And we have also be having much better ones, but luck is luck at the end of the day. What can you really do for each? Is what it is. It's always fun to be lucky or to be unlucky, you know? That they do, that they do. Another swirlix. I still wonder though, one thing is that are they gonna be keeping the thing up that they will be adding into new Pokemon games? The possibility to be getting the fully evolved Pokemon as well. As I said, I very much like the feature that you can be getting, let's say, Gengar in the wild or something similar to that. I like it because first of all it's easy dex completion, and second of all then you don't need to be going through the trouble of evolving each and stuff like that. If you need it for something specific, like you would like to prevent something from doing like things that you would not like to be doing, like explosion. It really helps out when you can like get a fully evolved Pokemon in like higher level, so you will most likely not be needing you will most likely not be needing a smoke ball. Best thing about ghost types is that they can nowadays run from everything. So like that is so lovely. Such a good decision. I don't know why did they decide to do it, but I think that it is definitely one of the best decisions that they have made, for sure. For sure, indeed. It's not like it doesn't make too much sense anyways, because like, why couldn't just the ghost Pokemon go the shadows, you know? Does it make too much sense that you as the player can run away from them? Not really, but... And we don't go that far. It makes sense in its own way, I guess. But then again, why couldn't you just be... Especially in the games that, you know, everything happens in the overworld. Why couldn't you just, like... Logically thinking, why couldn't you just run away? That's also why sometimes I love that to do that in the Chance Arceus, indeed. I like to run away as the player, not press the run button. It could be because, you know, it's having another prompt there that isn't really too much. It's not too necessary, so it could be that as well. Imagine getting 2 shiny Stuffles. It would be quite nice. Even if I would be getting it in here, I think I would be hunting it again as well. It is quite a nice Pokemon with a nice shiny and an evolution that has questionable Pokédex entries. And I will say though, like, Stuffle is one of those Pokemons that you could make sense out of it to be in every single Pokemon generation going forward. Because, you know, it's kind of the same thing with Mimikyu, you know, it's just, you know, stuffed animal, or like just in Mimikyu's case, it's just, you know, a cloth pretty much that is doing everything. But yeah, it'll be what it do be. I soon need to find. I soon need to switch my Pokemon. You are running out of moves, my dude. It's a shame. I don't know what's wrong today. I'm not getting longer chains at all. Of course, as I said, it's down to luck, but it's unfortunate though. I've been this unlucky with these. Oh, is this the Stuffle Paradise? I love them to be Stuffles indeed. Also, don't you absolutely love those situations for no reason at all? For one reason or another, you're just mixing something up with another thing. It doesn't like make any sense why you do it and stuff like that. It's just, you know, kind of does. I mean, there's the situations made like maybe they are like similar in the names, for example. So, you know, it makes more sense that you might be mixing them up more. Oh, hello there. Not gonna be encountering you there, my dude. Unfortunately. Even though I wouldn't mind you to be pink, but I just can't bother with you. I really can't, because if you shadow tag... I still would wish that they would be getting, like, you know... As annoying as Pokemon are, like, as the kind of Boba Fetch, but still kind of wish there would be something to do with it. Regional variant doesn't really make sense. Maybe switching it up like otherwise, like giving another ability. or changing up movesets. It wouldn't be too bad. Such a shame that it is a cool idea of a Pokemon, but it's honestly just a pain. Like, why indeed, like... Farfetch'd. I like Farfetch'd as well, but I like the kind of Wobbuffet as well. It's a shame that it doesn't really get anything. Then again, is it another psychic type that definitely weren't a big thing in Gen 2? Yes. Is it a little bit boring? Yeah, unfortunately. But still, it would be nice for it to be getting some attention. I know it did get a why not, like, later on, indeed. But still, it would be quite nice if it would be getting something. Like, imagine how hard Wobbuffet would be to defeat if it would be having a Wonder card. Imagine how broken it would be. Very broken indeed. Wobbuffet with a Wonder Guard. Jeez. Time to stretch. I will say though that it's interesting that I have seen like some Pokemon games that like people haven't played in years in quotes. It's interesting that right now it seems like a lot of people want to be playing on the Alola games. Which is, you know, nothing wrong with it. I like it. I like the Alola games myself. But yeah. Yeah. It's just interesting, you know. Which always reminds me of that. I don't know why the like Alola games always remind me of like one thing that I just still absolutely hate is that, you know, people like to do compilations of what they find, which is, you know, fair game, fair game. But I absolutely hate when they do the complete compilations and then they add another compilation into the compilation, and like I've already watched like this one or like these ones in another compilation and you're like, why? Which is, I said, fair enough, but at the same time, like, I would preferably just be watching, you know, the thing. I mean, it's a fair game, of course, like, if, like, they do be doing, like, a compilation of, like, what they have found in that year. Like, fair enough, of course, then you're gonna be seeing... You watch them before you will be able to see, like, the clips that you have already seen. But you know, like that's fair enough. But I just hate when like there's like some people that do compilations and then they have the same reaction on each and every one. I'm like, no, thank you. What do you mean by that? But to each their own, though. Some people might be liking it, and I guess like another reason why I personally probably don't like it is that even though I don't think that I remember well sometimes, some things I do remember like quite well. Especially if it's like a combination which like they are all in the same row, like the same reactions back to back, you know? And you have already seen it, and then you're like, yeah, I remember that. You know? I remember that indeed. But what did you do? So I will say another thing that would be quite funny is that imagine if for like one reason or another Pokemons could be having a random ability that they shouldn't be able to have at all. Like, would definitely be weird, but then again, would be too far-fetched though. Would it? I don't think so. Let's go with you. Unless it doesn't matter, I just need someone that has moves so I can KO the Farfetch'd. So I can have an increased chance to be getting another Farfetch'd afterwards. It's indeed the reasoning still behind it. Quickly actually open up the faces for this one. Is it on this one? Oh. There. Yeah, I found the faces. And we're more or less 100 away from the last phase for the Farfetch'd. As I said, I will be absolutely shocked if we'll be able to find anything. I will indeed. But then again, I guess never say never, which I have always find to be a very weird saying. If you're never saying never, then never is never gonna be happening. And then the whole thing wouldn't be making too much sense. It's also a little funny to think about that my Sinisty face is... the Sinisty face right now is same numbers as this one started today. Both were at 400. No, I wasn't actually meant to. I was trying to get away. I was too late at that point then. No, I ran into you indeed. One thing that I have personally not seen yet is that I would absolutely love to see someone to be completing a living shiny dex in Legends Arceus. With, you know, only the help of that game. Because, you know, it's possible, of course, the ones that, you know, you can hunt in that game. So no legendaries, mythicals, whatever mythings. You know, all the ones that are easy. I know that there has been a lot of people that have come close to each, but then they are like missing the space-time distortion exclusives, or they are missing something else, you know. Another one that is like barely missed out on is the 3 ones as well. Which is, you know, fair enough because, you know, rare. It is indeed quite rare. I would absolutely love to see though that someone would be able to make it. Probably one day. Or I just haven't come across it yet myself. Am I actively searching for it? No, but still, you know, would be quite cool. Yes, I know that the space-time distortions, they are a pain. But I will say that they are quite rewarding as well. I'm kind of assuming for myself, because I will indeed be doing the perfect dex, that I will be absolutely shocked if I will be getting anything there. Thankfully, if you are not going for... I was about to say again, version exclusives. If you don't go for gender differences, there is in Shumei that you need to get from those. Like, only in those. Oh, I got the thing. Nice! The thing that I was showing that I was in the wrong route. Let's go! The thing! Yeah, because, I don't know, the space-time distortion ones, they're just a pain. Why? Why are they the way that they are? As I said, I love the space-time distortions, I just hate that there is exclusive to those. Thankfully, for most of them, you can only catch one. Or, I'm sorry, 2. You can only like catch one shinies and you're good. The only one that requires the 3rd one, that is like absolutely necessary in one of them, is the funny little guy known as Porygon. That is indeed the only one that would be requiring, without gender differences, be getting more than 2. So you can find Magnezone. You can just evolve into Scizor, so Scizor is unnecessary in my eyes. I mean, it would be cool, but like, you know, it's not necessary in there. And then with the funny little guy of Stevie Wild Sneasel one. You only need 2 of them if you don't care about the gender differences. Then there is one, the only Bastiodon. I guess also Rampardos. Yeah, those are, as I said, those are gonna be the first ones in my opinion, because there's first of all 2 of them there. Both of the fossils, then there is the funny little guy known as Rowlet, so you might not have seen them. It is unfortunate that it's quite unlikely that you will be able to get the Space-Time Distortion exclusive Pokemon before you have Shiny Charm or a Perfect X, you know. Because they are so rare. They're so rare indeed. That's the problem with them. It will be a little too rare. I understand that there is exclusive to those, but I'm so glad that there is a ridiculous amount of them. Because I think the amount of like Space-Time Distortion exclusives that we have is good. As you know, there is variety in them, but there is not too much. Because I will say that sometimes just getting the Space-Time Distortion exclusives to the Pokédex, it's a little bit of a pain. It's very unfortunate. As I said, first you need to be waiting for the weather, and then you would need to be waiting for the right ones to be waiting for the weather to not to be a meanie, I guess. That would be like an actual thing for each. And then you would need each to be having the Pokemon that you want. Because sometimes getting the, you know, the evolved one, it's not the best. If you're looking for a Porygon or Magnemite and you want the pre-evolution for your decks, it can be a pain. It's thankfully not that bad, but still, it would be nicer if it would be a little bit easier indeed. I will still say that I absolutely love the thing that only one game required. I would hope that that would be going to be a thing. Not in main series games, but like in those like side games, I guess, even though they are technically still main series, but I really feel like they are main series though, but did you be having something to do with the story anyways in like nowadays Pokemon games? So you can't really just completely ignore them, unlike you can like quite a good amount of these spin-off games like Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness. Yeah, surely they have some sort of a thing, but at the same time not as much. Stuffle having the aura, and it's definitely yellow. The aura that is. Unfortunately, you are not yellow. Yeah, we shall see. I might be doing another hunt in here this week as well. Continuing the far-fetched hunt indeed. It's most definitely a possibility. And we shall see about it. We shall indeed. As I said, it mostly will be going for do I feel like doing it or not. But if I do, then most likely indeed. Oh. Stuffles, they're no far-fetched, because I definitely should be always be looking if there's any far-fetched there, so I could be doing the quick things indeed. The quick spawns. Lovely features of the game. And still, it would absolutely be lovely to be seeing a Pokemon game where you would be able to be having where you would be having like I know a troll game in a way, you know, that every encounter would be getting, you know, an encounter on. I think that would be pretty unique. Would it be fun? I'd like to say no, but definitely be something a little bit more unique, you know? Most definitely be. But yeah, I will say though, one thing that would be absolutely lovely sometimes is that you wouldn't be having too many nights in a row the same dream that doesn't make any sense. That has happened to me quite a bit recently. You know, those dreams that like they just don't make any sense at all. Like they wouldn't be possible any shape or form. I know once. Then you just have the you know, the same dream. It's not like it's a bad dream or anything, it's nothing like that, it's just like, you know, weird. That's about it, really. I do remember that I did have, like, when I was younger, I did have one nightmare for like a solid while. Not every night, but like quite often. The funniest thing is that it was from like a cartoon. Yeah. Probably the funniest thing about it indeed. Was indeed from a cartoon. But then again, sometimes it's hard to explain why some things just makes you feel like not that well in that regard. Aren't you sometimes tell indeed? funny dreams indeed. But then again, I have always been the type of person that does have a lot of dreams. Anyways. Because I know a bunch of people that like don't have dreams like every night, and I usually have you. I think the only times that I don't have a dream a night is that like if I'm like so tired, like I need to be like tired, I guess, in the right way. The funny things, you know, like that. Maybe tired in the right way to be. For me to be having a night that I wouldn't be having a dream on. Not a Minchi? No. Oh. Go past you, mean. Could you? Thank you. Oh, and the deuce. What are we running? Yeah, let's see like what time it is when I do be hitting 1k for this phase. Will I be continuing on, or will it be that, you know, because I will say that, as I said, this hunt today has been going surprisingly fast. It could be because like my 100 in an hour like estimate is of course like very much wrong, because I always like to be more generous because you can get unlucky. And also I'm only doing this so there is not like I'm gonna be waiting on another hunt, you know. But I mean, I will say 600 will it be in 4 hours, which is quite likely today. It's still a good amount of progress. I'm not upset about it at all. And I guess the other thing why I think this might be a little bit faster is because I did switch from Swirlix to Stuffle. And Stuffle is slightly bit more common. It's not by too much, but it is still, you know, on the common side. It doesn't make too big of a difference, but still. I will say definitely the Minchino to be the thing of the day is probably the most helpful one, because I would like to say I haven't really counted, of course, but I would like to say that I probably have seen today Minccino the most, but then again it makes sense if it's indeed recommended to the Pokemon app or Pokédex app. You know? It makes a lot of sense. It do be what it do be, you know. I don't know why, but I'm weirdly in the mood for whenever I will be playing through the Unova games. I'm not in the mood to be using maybe Minccino on the team. Could be because I don't know, there's just something about it. Of course the evolution isn't the nicest thing ever, but still, I think that I should be able to get around it. You know, with too much of an issue. It's just like in some games you get some of the evolutionary stones ridiculously like early. You do, you really do. It's very interesting that is indeed the case sometimes. More swirlix. So many swirls around. It's impossible to see them. They are everywhere. I mean, at least there hasn't been the situation today. I'm pretty sure that there has been on all the available tree spots in one patch of grass. Them all to be frivolous. Because, you know, that would be hitting 3 times the wrong 5% Pokemon. You know, it's not that common. It's not that common indeed. But then again, I've been running sometimes incredibly often into another like 5% in other hunts. As I said, that is kind of what my luck is. I will be running into a rare thing, like overall, not necessarily the rare thing that I would like to run into, you know. Hmm. I do be wondering one thing though. Will they ever be returning to random encounters? Or would they... Or will they like keep going on with the overworld ones from now on? Like what will be the thing? And I don't necessarily mind the overworld ones personally. But there is a certain charm about the random ones. And as I always will be saying that if that's what you like, there's always the older games that you can go ahead and play, you know. So like, it's not like that is the reason why I would like to have them. Like, sure, I understand the argument behind it, but at the same time, if you prefer them, it's older games. There they are indeed. Also, I don't know why, but I would wish if like daycares are gonna be a thing, like in future Pokemon games. I would wish that the surrounding area would be all the Pokemons that you would be getting if you don't use like the correct items in order to breed for their baby form. Or the other thing is that it is just an area like filled in which baby Pokemons. Yes, you know, it is indeed quite likely that you will be forgetting to be... You will be forgetting to be having the douche. Oh. I need to KO you because I can't run away. But yeah, both for the same reason indeed, because maybe it's because like that would be like the main idea of each, and the other ones because of the reason being that indeed you need to be remembered to be the parents to be holding certain things in order to be getting, you know, the correct ones sometimes. Which I have definitely not ever forgot to do when I have been trying to get them. Definitely couldn't be me, that's why I'm kind of hoping that they are not gonna be a thing for too long, because I think they're just so unnecessary, they shouldn't be there. It just feels a little stupid indeed. It do be like that. Oh, and again, bush of funny little guys. Allow to see it indeed. But yeah, I was thinking maybe I will be doing tomorrow the Alpha Gudra hunting. That is at least a possibility that I might be doing that. Maybe. So I'm indeed interested in doing it, of course. It's just like this was today definitely the one that I wanted to do more, and I guess I also wanted the one to be a little bit more of a not need to be thinking as much. I guess with Legends Arceus hunts, you need to be pressing quite a good amount of buttons and be like thinking quite a bit more than in usual hunts for me. To be what it do be, you know. As I said, there's very well a possibility that we would be continuing this at some point this week. No promises, of course, but possibility. As I said, I'm fairly excited, at least right now, to be back to this hunt. I do be. But as I said also that I'm gonna be also be concentrating on like seeing like how am I doing for the day. Like if I'm feeling down, I will be of course taking a day off. Health it do be important. And if I have something that comes up that is very much a necessary thing to be doing, you know. Yeah, we shall see indeed. For the time being, we do be continuing this hunt indeed. But yeah, it is a thing. Breaks are always important, no matter how small they tend to be sometimes, but that's why you have some bigger breaks at some point, right? And you will be able to do that indeed. That's why them right. There's one thing that I have honestly never understood though, is that why for some people it's like impossible to think that certain people, you know, are a certain age. It's not that often a thing, of course, and I do say that it does happen to me as well sometimes. But then I like realize, yeah, that is indeed the case. But I just have found, like, I have always found it weird because there's quite a good amount of people that are like, I guess, kind of weirded by the idea that certain people are a certain age, you know? It's just like, you know, that is what life is. That is how age works. Like, I understand, like, if you're thinking, you know, a dude is a lot younger than you, and then you're like, no way that, you know, you're that old now, you know? But, still. It could be the case because there is of course like I know so many people that are like they are kind of afraid of their age, what I like to call it, that they don't want to be the age that they are, they want to be younger. As I said before, it is kind of the opposite for me, I would like to say. I, in its own, like, I don't want to be older per se, but at the same time, like, I'm the age that I am. Like, sure, do I sometimes think that I'm old even though I'm not that old? Yes, but at the same time, doesn't everyone? So, like, why did I KO you? I don't know. Vitamin Chino. Yeah. But I think it's indeed normal that you would be feeling that way, though, that like you sometimes just feel like you're old. Even though that is how life works. Get older each year. Be scary if 1 year you would be getting younger, if you ask me. All of a sudden you're just younger. Maybe. Stretching time. Eat 'em. Could be stretching because I've been sitting again for a little while. A little while, and this stream has been going for soon 3.5 hours. And you know, a while. That is indeed the reason why I like to be going for a small walk afterwards. Sometimes it feels very nice, sometimes it doesn't feel nice, but I know that it is good to be moving. And of course, I'm the type of person that just doesn't sit still for like that long amount of time. I'll be changing how I sit and everything like that. And to get, you know, more comfortable. We'll get more comfortable indeed. You'll be like that sometimes indeed. Oh, Farfetched. Long time no see you, buddy. What you doing? I still gotta wonder though, how weird does it look for the Pokemon world that there is just this, you know, running around defeating Pokemons? How weird it would be. How common it would be anyways. People to be doing it, you know. How common it would be. I would like to say fairly common because, you know, it's the idea that you try to be getting stronger and everything, but at the same time, Would there be a better option? Stuff all back there that has some yellow on each. Most definitely, because it has at least a yellow aura, if nothing else. Now gotta think the positives. At least it's indeed a little bit yellow. I know. Stuffle is strange Pokemon. I love it to the bits, but I just think that sometimes it, you know, its attack animation is weird. I know if it's with all the moves, but with most of the moves, it's just like closes the eyes and just, you know, attacks. It's not bad or anything, it's just a little bit on the weirder side, you know. A little bit. To use an item. Oh, thank you. I was surprised it doesn't happen too often today, though. I fairly often do be doing that. I'm indeed very much surprised that it hasn't happened that much today. Also, I think it should be illegal that if something is stuck in your head, you should be always be able to know what it is. Because that is indeed one of the more frustrating things, if you ask me. Is a song or something else like that stuck in your head, then you just can't figure out what it is. Can that be like not the case at all? I would very much like that indeed. I mean, I will say for me, it doesn't happen too often, and if it does, I most of the time do be remembering what it is about. Like, where is it coming from to my head, you know? I do be remembering quite well indeed. It did happen last night that I was like for a solid while like what is stuck in my head. But then I figured out that it was from Luigi's Mansion, the first one. You know, the machine that turns ghosts into paintings. It also can somehow be turning Mario back to being a human. Even though they are using the same machine in reverse. It's a little odd. But that's the charm of the games, is indeed. They are odd. They are indeed very odd. Sometimes more than others, for sure, for sure. But that's the funny thing about them. They don't need to be making a whole lot of sense. You can be making only a little bit of sense, you know. You can indeed. was quite sure that I couldn't be escaping that area that easily, but it's fine. I think I will be trying to get out of that grass area anyways. I think that would be quite smart indeed. You're surprised. I just need to make the grass areas to be bigger so you're not accidentally running the things that you don't want to encounter. Just can't be encountering them, but sometimes it is easier to do than others. It really depends. In this route there is not too many aggressive Pokemons that would be visible ones. aka nothing. And there's not that many Pokemon that are big. They are all relatively small. And I am more like talking about like width than height, because that is how hitboxes work. Unfortunately in this game you can't really be hitting something vertically. Oh. Didn't notice that you had the aura. Noticed. Oh my god. I guess I probably need to be encountering both of them. It's not the end of the world, but still. I hate when you do be missing them by just a little bit. Oh. I didn't encounter the right one. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. Love the seed. Was unnecessary anyways. He'll live today because of the endure, I guess. Such an annoying move. Like, I get it why it exists, but I will say though that I think endure shouldn't be working in Dynamax Adventures for every single one of them in that turn. It just is mean. It's very mean. Not necessary as well. They're being very mean indeed. How dare they? Also, there haven't been too many other situations that the Pokemons are like, I don't think that I can battle too well against this level. I don't know. Way too low for you to be thinking anything of Pokemons. What can I do against a level 20 Pokemon? How can I ever defeat that one? It's almost impossible. Thankfully, only almost. Thankfully, only almost indeed. Hello there, another stopper? Are you? Still being your pink self, I see. How dare you be pink? Hello, Minchino. Once again, I haven't seen you in a while. It's been at least one encounter since I've seen you the last. It's been a while indeed. More Stuffles to be pink. Oh, Minchino. What a lovely normal type you are, because there's so many normal types that definitely don't turn pink. You're such a unique in that way, because no other normal types ever turn to be pink when they're shiny. It's definitely not a Bonnieri. Oh, boosted one. Cool. Higher shiny chance, but nope. No shiny still. This time at least I did notice the aura around each. So last time that you were there I didn't really notice it because it unfortunately doesn't show like everywhere, you know. It has, you know, a distance where you can really see it. Thank you for a very necessary amount of what's back to back boosted ones. Cool. Cool. Love to see it. All the little boosted ones. Third one in a row? Nah. I mean, that would be quite insane. Three boosted ones in a row. There's so many things in there, but nothing that I'm gonna be encountering. It's only Minchino, Stuffle, and of course Farfetch'd, and any boost ones for sure. All the boosted ones always, because why not? Oh, hello, Wobbuffet. I will say though, it is interesting that this bunch of like Pokemons that they could have made another Pokemon out of them. I think like weirdly Wobbuffet has like potential for each. Like, it could be as simple a form as, you know, as simple as a form to be the funny little guy that is known as like just like a worn out one in this case. And I think it would be making quite a good amount of sense, you know, since punching bags, they are usually punched quite a bit, you know. So, you know, it would be making sense if we would be getting another one. I would honestly kind of wish, I don't know why, but it would be kind of cool if we would be getting like a contest kind of type of Pokemon game that would be like only focusing on the contest things. I don't know if I personally would be too interested in one of those, but I think that would be like quite cool for the thing. For like having like costumes for Pokemons to be a thing. Because they are not that well used. And they are used every once in a while, but they definitely could be like more of a thing, you know. It definitely could be more of a thing indeed. Oh, far-fetched. Why you so mean? How dare you be so mean? I don't know why, but I would kind of like the idea that every once in a while in Pokemon games you could be able to get different kinds of music. Not everywhere, not all the time, but you know, every once in a while. I think that would be quite cool. I'm not saying that the music, they are bad, but it could be though changing. Like maybe there could be like few different versions, you know, slightly or like versus slightly or different. I like that in some Pokemon games it matters like are you riding a bike or are you running slash moving. That like makes the music to be different. It's unfortunately not the case in most of the games, but every time that it's in, it's very nice. It's very nice indeed. Did you know that Stuffle in real life would be making quite a good stuffed animal? Like, no way! It's like impossible. I will say still it's a cool Pokemon. As I said, I wouldn't really want to have it in real life, but having it, you know, as a stuffed animal, it wouldn't be too bad though. It's definitely not on its own a stuffed animal. No, it couldn't be. Oh, bunch of more or less white Pokemon in here, I see. As I said, there's quite a good amount of like white Pokemons like overall, but it's a shame that they don't have really too many white shinies. I also wonder one thing though. Are they ever gonna be doing anything special for Seal and Dugong? They're weird Pokemons. But then again, they have made for another ones that are like fairly unique. Like having like special treatment, you know. But why not? Same thing with like something like Shuckle as well. It's indeed a shame that like the thing that was, you know, quite a big thing in the Generation 2 games, it didn't carry on into like later generations as an ability for Shuckle. You know, since, you know, Shuckle choice is a big thing in the anime, especially. You can get it in the games, in Gen 2 indeed, by having the Shuckle to be holding a berry, and then there's a chance that it will become, you know, Shuckle choice after it's, you know, done. It's a little bit of a shame that it like didn't really go through like that. Would be quite cool. Could be indeed. So I don't know. Would I like to go for 100 more? I kind of do. Maybe 700 today then. Actually, it would be quite nice to be hitting 700 today indeed. You know what? Let's just go for a little bit more. Over the 1000 that is, so let's see, will it be 1050 or will it be 1100? Let's just do that. Why not? Of course, if I will be getting a shiny, then I probably will not be starting a new phase. I would like to say that much indeed. That's check number 1000 with the Stuffles instead of Swirlix. I still been encountering Swirlix, definitely. Definitely. Trying to think of like animals that there is only one Pokemon made out of. There's certainly like a lot of them, of course. I guess like one thing that honestly would be quite cool to be seeing another Pokemon on would be like snails and stuff. Stuff like that, kind of what like Gumi Lion has going for each. I think that would be quite cool. It'll definitely be one of the things that we don't have too many Pokemons out of anyways. Would it be hard to be making something out of it? Yes, but it'll still be, you know, pretty cool things that can be done from them. I know that the Dragon Ching has been done for with like the snails already. But maybe like something like close to it, like as a reptile, you know? That would be quite interesting indeed. That would indeed. Yes, that wouldn't be too bad. I would like to get a fairy that would be like very heavily based on like a fairy. That wouldn't be too bad either, in my opinion. There's a bunch of fairy types, surely. But not like too many of them like scream like fairy, you know. I think that would be quite cool, like having a fairy based on a fairy. Imagine that. There is fairies that aren't like Pokemons that are based on fairies but aren't fairies. There is a lot of them. Not a lot of them, but there is, you know, like few. There is indeed few. But yeah. I mean, I guess like probably the closest one that we would be having in like kind of for a fairy in my mind would be Cutiefly and Ribombi. They have those kinds of wings and they're fairy type. Yeah. Guess those would be probably right now one of the closest ones that we would be having for a fairy based on a fairy. You know, whatever it will be, it probably will be quite cool indeed. But then again, I wouldn't mind to be getting another like Grimmsnarl situation. Like fairy that definitely doesn't fit the usual fairy. You know? I don't mind that as well. It'll be quite cool to be getting one of those. I'm just honestly assuming at this point if we would be getting another like kind of like food themed animal, especially if it's a dog, it's gonna be a fairy type. Nothing wrong with it, of course. And it is a shame though. You have two fairy dogs that were based on something you can eat, and then the other one still doesn't make the most amount of sense to be a fairy. I don't do Squirrelix cheese. You want to be here a lot today? Don't mind them, don't mind them. Something else to be boosted like a warfare again. Unless you wouldn't mind that. It's a little bit more annoying to be dealing with because I need to be switching in from the ghost type, but that's about it. Will this Farfetch'd be the Farfetch'd that we'll be able to get a very good chain out of? I would love it if it would be. At least give me 2, and I will be happy with that. If you give any more, I will be even happier. Ah, nothing. Mean. Very mean indeed. How dare you be like that indeed. Oh. Don't you love it in the shiny hunting situations? When you encounter something and it just looks odd. It doesn't look shiny, but it just looks odd, and then you're like questioning everything. I mean, it's more apparent in like from what I have like seen to be the case. It happens to me as well, but it happens a lot to like those people that hunt with multiple systems, and you know, one of the consoles looks different from others, which you know is fair enough. Completely understandable and such. Completely understandable indeed. But it has happened to me, but it's more like either there is the shadow that if you are indeed encountering a random one that just makes the Pokemon like at the first glance to be looking different, or when I run away from it and I'm like not really seeing it too well. And most of the time I'm quite fine with it. And it's definitely the issue if the Pokemon itself doesn't change too much for sure. For sure. But anyways, it is what it is. Completely fine. Completely fine of a thing. I think I can get closer to even 70 Farfetch seen today. It's pretty good. It's pretty good indeed. It is indeed possible, but we shall see indeed. Definitely love these hunts where you can see a lot of your targets. Sometimes like it is like for like I don't mind like if I would be having a lot of Pokemon there and I would be facing it's fine, it is whatever, you know. Nothing you can really do. But then again, sometimes it is indeed just nice to be seeing the Jew that you're looking for to be there fairly commonly. That would be a very nice feeling. Oh, there we go. Managed to get out of there. Nice. A lot of Pokemon's there indeed. I would like to predict that the Farfetch'd it would be showing up on the 5th phase. I think I will be getting, you know, 2 more before you. I would like to say that indeed. Yeah, I would like to say that. Then I mean, I wouldn't really mind that as well. If that would be the case indeed. If I would be able to find you in 5 phases. I mean, I will say though, you have been showing up fairly often now, and I like it. I like it a lot. It would be very much appreciating you showing up. So I will say after we run out of these moves, or this move, the poison jab, we will be like almost seen 70 of these. Oh, wrong move. But anyways. I can get a critical hit now, let's go! It's so necessary. It's still a cool ability though, I will say that. And I think I have planned to use you on one of my playthroughs of Alola. That is at least what I am remembering. I know that you're a kind of pain to be catching, though. That's the thing. But it's It's not going to be the end of the world though. Shame. Very much of a shame indeed. It's Stuffle. Would have loved to be getting Farfetch'd. Well, then again, I can really never be saying no to that cry. Something about it. If you hear it like every once in a while, it's not bad. By the way, if you're in a wild area and there's just Stuffles everywhere, it's annoying. I mean, it's the case with most of the cries, or I guess repeating things anyways. If you hear it too much, it's annoying. But you know, fair enough, fair enough. Too much is too much. At the end of the day. Again, I'm surprised it wasn't a random encounter. It's fairly close indeed. Fairly close indeed. I kind of still wonder like why sometimes when they spawn in they make their cry and sometimes they don't. What causes that to be, you know, the thing? What is the meaning behind it? And such. See, that's where it's... Farfetch'd day. Want to show up there a lot is my question. Interesting sound there, buddy. Oh, boosted on it. Quite lucky with you guys to be boosted. So very nice of you. Very, very nice of you indeed. Time to get out. Also, could you imagine having as a guard dog a Swirlix? Could you imagine that? I mean, of course, it's not meant to be one, but imagine if it would be. Oh, how funny it could be. I mean, I would say, like, in Pokemon World, it could be doing a decent amount of things if you would be thinking about it a little bit more. Of course, it's unlike Crowlet, so it, you know, it can't breathe fire. you know, would be effective. But I would like to say that Icy Swirlix also has a good chance, especially if it can like shoot a little like cotton candy things. I think those would be like generally also quite effective in that as well, you know. Very well could be. I think one there. One day I'll be getting mostly yellow, but a hint of orange of a Stuffle myself. Yes, the head it turns into quite a good amount of I mean, they got a good amount of what is yellow, but and the rest of the body quite switches quite well to the. I guess especially like the legs, they do be switching into like range one. Anyways. Let's see. Soon 40 more to go. I haven't seen anything on the fishing one. Because the only way that I will be checking out the fishing one is that if it's indeed. It hasn't really been glowing today. So yeah. We'll be checking out on that. Sometimes, as I said, not too much today. Also, there's another boosted Pokemon there. Stuffle this time around. On the way back there. It's pretty cool, I guess. Or is the crest just tricking me? It is boosted, yeah. Let's see correctly. Wasn't just a trick. Wasn't just a trick indeed. Well, we'll be checking it out later. How much time will later be is determined by the other Pokemons. How many of them want to be the ones that I want to encounter, of course. Will definitely be making the difference. Okay, now it's the time. I'm still not having any yellow on this. That is indeed very much of a shame. Okay. Even though honestly I will still say that I'm kind of looking more forward to getting it in Gen 7 instead, but you know, if I get it in here, I get it in here. Not gonna be saying no, but as I said also I might be wanting to hunt it again. It is indeed quite a bit a possibility indeed. Or not boosted there, Boba Fett. I did think about it for a little while there. Nope, we're just regular old Boba Fett without any boosts there. It is always scary to think about that. Is there a thing? A thing is called a thing. Is there indeed going to be the thing? When you ever will be encountering the boosted Pokemon, will it be having a move that is scary? Because you know it can. Because if it's boosted, it usually means that it has something special going about it. Most of the time, it is easy to do with moves. It is quite easy to do them indeed. Shall see. More swirlies. Cotton candy is honestly, like, speaking of swirlies, is one of those things that I like a lot, but it's such an annoyance to be getting a hand. Get into your hand like a good one, you know. I haven't really eaten too many different kinds, but it is indeed a little bit of a shame. Because there's like some things that you can like always be getting a good one out of, you know. I guess it's hard to like not do right kind of a thing. But then there's like some things that you are gonna be having a hard time to be getting a good one indeed. There we go. Nothing from that Boba Fett I see. So come back to you. Imagine if the next one would have also be boosted, then I wouldn't need to do switch back. Let's go! Switching back. Like again. I'd love to see switching them back and forth all the time. Let's go! What did you be indeed? It's an interesting amount of Boba Fetts today as well. No, fair enough indeed. Oh, why? Doing me like that? How dare you? Dare you do that indeed? Of course, as usual, we'll be doing the usual. Like, when we have only few to go, I'll be going ahead and look for a Farfetch'd, so we can end it off with target, because it's indeed a thing that if I can do that, if I can choose that I can check out a target, I usually like to Have it to be the last encounter on a sleeve. I found it weird that the Minchino was doing the spins already, but you didn't see. Fine, I guess. And I guess indeed. Why are you such an annoyance to be hunting? It's very mean that you are like that, and I definitely don't want to be getting another one. So I can have you both, even though you're not the most exciting shiny. I would still like to get it though. To be having it. Not the most exciting one, also I did run away from you, but anyways. It's fine. But yeah, I will still say that around 70 in 700 checks is pretty good. It's 5%, so it's pretty good. Indeed. Does math check out? Definitely. Always does. Math is very much a correct way, and definitely everything can be explained with numbers anyways when it comes to shiny hunting. And most definitely not being sarcastic or anything like that. Yeah. But I mean, numbers, if not anything else, they do be giving you somewhat of an idea where you at, you know. They're useful for that indeed. But yeah, soon indeed we'll be going ahead and looking for the Farfetch'd. I usually go to 95. I like to that indeed. On 97, yeah, and then we'll indeed be ahead and finding the thing. I almost didn't. Again, I almost didn't encounter this Swirlix thing. Lovely. Oh boy. There's still time for Fetch to be showing up before I start to look for you. I believe you can do it. Always to be also be hoping that the Farfetch that us decide to show up, it's not gonna be in an annoying spot that no, I have not given up on the Evil Hall. I've just been doing other things. I've just been doing other things, and I usually do them only over the weekends anyways. You know, whenever I feel like it. I'm hunting on for the Galarian Farfetch'd right now. Not for too long today. I will be heading out soon. Be going ahead and rest for a while, most likely. I'll check out after this who are spawning in, then I'll be going ahead and looking for a Farfetch'd. That nothing spawns in and I can avoid you there. Okay. No Farfetch'd there. Where will we wanna be though? Ending on the target. I wonder if I will be seeing like 7 Drifloons before I see the other 5%. Would be just my luck. Indeed. No, still nothing. Jeez. I don't really want to be showing up. Oh, there we go. The other 5% was there as well. Lovely. Let's get another one before I encounter the Farfetch'd, so... And for the Farfetch'd, they don't stroll too much, so you shouldn't be too much of an issue indeed. Another Stuffle. Yeah, let's check out the final one. 700 checks today. Not too bad. In 4.5 hours. But yeah, it is indeed gonna be it for today. As I said, tomorrow I might be doing the Alpha Gudra hunt. Since I didn't do it today, the day that I usually do them. Okay, on Tuesdays. I was just more looking forward to hunting for the Farfetch'd. It has been a while since I have been hunting this. But maybe another time this week I will be hunting for the funny duck again. But yeah. Have a great rest of the day. Remember to take care of yourselves. Remember to do everything you need to do today. And remember to get enough rest as well. I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Until then, bye.